victory. Win is a friend to me. Lose is the enemy. Live, get what you got. Straight to the top. Who's gonna stop you? No one. Let's rock. Live, living in victory. Live, living in victory.
Yes. Come on, claps and snaps and tambourine for tambourine. Hey, Living in Victory podcast family. I'm back, Liv West, your host. I host for the Indiana Pacers, the Indiana Fever, and Athletes Unlimited Pro Basketball. Joining us for a conversation today is Ty Harris, a smooth playmaker and floor general known for her dropping dimes and making clutch plays. A South Carolina legend with 700-plus career assists. She was drafted 7th overall in the 2020 WNBA draft. After time with the Wings and out with the Connecticut Sun, she's back in Dallas for 2025, ready to take flight. Living in Victory podcast family, give it up for Ty Harris.
Spin the block season.
Oh, spin the block season.
Spinning the block.
You actually did. So you got drafted to the Wings in 2020, spent 2 seasons? 3 seasons there, okay? And then 2 seasons with the Sun, and then back to the Wings. Ty, we'll get into that, of course, but as we tip things off, I feel like the first time you got to the Wings, you were new, right? You were quite literally a rookie. Came from a super successful high school career, but I almost feel like the first time with the Wings, you were an underdog, and this time when you're coming back, you're a big dog.
Yeah.
And you have an amazing squad to help support, hopefully, a lot of success in this coming season.
Yes. I mean, it's been a long time. Time flies. I kind of still feel like a rookie, but at the end of the day, this is going to be my 6th year, so I'm a vet now. So I feel like it's just a whole different perspective. I mean, I've been posting, the growth is going to be seen. And I think the Wings fans, they know my potential when I was there, and then I got drafted. And then just seeing what I did in Connecticut, I think they're excited. I'm excited, and I'm ready to get it rolling, really.
Let's go. Let's get it rolling. I mean, you know me. I'm with the Indiana Fever, so I'm by no means rooting for the Wings. Let me be very clear. But I really do like to see you specifically ball out because I'm not from Indianapolis, but I live there now, and I know you're from Nap. So let's kind of take it back, okay? Yeah. Take it back. Growing up in Indianapolis, Indiana in general, we grow basketball there, right? I mean, just like cornfields and basketball. You know it. So you went to Heritage Christian High School, but even before that, you started playing ball when you were 4?
4.
Tell us about that.
So, I mean, let's just go all the way back. I guess when I got interested in basketball, my dad said that I was in a stroller and he was playing in Gus Mackers, which is on the black tops outside, tournaments around different cities and stuff like that. And I was crying one game, but as soon as the ball tipped off, he said, I stopped crying, and I was just moving my head back and forth and following the ball. So I think that's where my love of basketball came from. And ever since then, when I was 4, we had a travel team. I think actually I had to play in a YMCA team, and it was co-ed because there was, no girls basketball. So I was playing, with all the boys, and I was, the only girl. And that's when you had to wear the wristbands to guard your color. You had to break it down completely. But, I started falling in love with basketball then, and it's been history ever since.
So it sounds like basketball chose you.
Yeah.
Which is so cool because I feel like nowadays parents choose basketball for their kids and then they're like, play 4 to 5 games a day from 3rd grade till 12th grade.
Right.
And then you see a bunch of burnt out ballers that don't really love the game anymore, which is then evident, right?
But for me, honestly, it was complete opposite. Like you said, basketball chose me, and when my dad came home from work, I waited at the door, just can we go outside? Can we practice? I begged them, and I don't know. I just love it. I love the grind. I love the process, and I love basketball.
That's so cool. So basketball's always been a family thing then, too?
Yeah.
So dad playing ball?
Dad played ball. My mom was a cheerleader, so, and then I have a little sister who's a cheerleader, too. So it's kind of like a full swing, and my other little sister plays basketball, too, so.
Keep it in the family. Yeah. Is it hard for you as a big sister to watch your little sister play ball and not be like, you need to do this, right? Because obviously you play basketball for such a long time at such a high level. It's so easy to critique, but maybe she just needs encouraged.
Honestly, yeah. That's something that I had to learn over last 3 years, honestly, just from her season in high school to now she's in college. She's a freshman. So I kind of had to take a back seat because I was on her. But, I mean, like you said, she just needs motivation. She has her own process, her own journey, and I just want her to fulfill that. And I don't want her to always be Ty Harris' sister. I want her to be Talia Harris, her own person. So yeah.
Talk about that. Yeah. That is really important and impactful. Previously, I interviewed Bria Goss, and she had a similar story where she was actually the little sister that was waiting to come out in the spotlight. And so I think that a lot of us have maybe faced that at one point in our life of being known as something else, right? And then having to transition and really, really make your mark. So that's so cool. All right, so you were hooping really early on, and then you went to high school, Heritage Christian High School in Indianapolis, Indiana, and you didn't just play, you absolutely dominated, okay? A couple of state titles, 3 of them.
3.
Yeah, 3 state titles and 4 city championships, regional championships. Being so decorated in high school, you finish your high school career. Y'all listen to this. You know, like a lot of people get the ball for 1,000 points? No, Ty had 2,004 points. Like, did you let anybody else shoot?
Yes, I actually was like mostly a facilitator. Honestly, I just had, I don't know, just it was easy back then. I felt like I was always bigger a little bit, and I was quick, so I can just get by. My first step was explosive, so yeah, it was a little different back then.
Yeah, but how much fun to know that not only you had so much personal success, but you were able to lead a team to having that same success. Yeah. I think so often, you know, people are really quick to say, I did this, and that. And that's great. But your team also was able to achieve and succeed. And I mean, talk about maybe some of your teammates and some of the characteristics that help you all win so much.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like I said, just going back to like knowing roles, I think everybody knew their role, and we played really well together. I mean, if not all, or maybe like 7 other people out of like the varsity team went D1 basketball somewhere.
Wow.
So like they had their own agenda, they had their own journey too. So like we were just really good, and we had a good old coach, Rick Reisner, and it was just fun playing with them because they was completely different. I went to an all-white school too, so it was like them and then me, and then I had my little sis, Caitlin Gilbert and Day Day come up. And they went to Heritage too, like my senior and junior year. So it was kind of fun. It was different. And then my AAU coach at the time, she was the assistant coach and JV coach. So it was kind of keeping it in the family, of
Absolutely.
course.
I was just going to say that. Definitely a family affair. Yeah. And I really like that point that you said, you know, right before we started recording, we were kind of talking about the differences in race, maybe, in some of the places that we've lived. I mean, I grew up in a very small town in northern Indiana, LaPorte, and I was one of the very few black kids, and I felt that. I'm also mixed, so I was like, well,
you feel it from both sides.
I felt it from both sides. Like the white kids were like, well, you're definitely not white. And then the black girls were like, and you're not black either. And then I had trouble doing my hair back then too, so it was a mess. But I felt like basketball really helped level the playing field because it was somewhere that race didn't matter, class didn't matter. Could you hoop?
Right.
Were you good on the floor? Are you a good communicator?
Exactly.
Were you helpful? Were you I mean, it was really, really a great sport and environment to just drive that equity and that fairness.
Diversity,
and yes, truly. I mean, you know, there's a lot of talk right now about like DEI and all that stuff. And as much as I hate to think that people are using that to you know, get a leg up when they don't deserve it, which I don't think is true. That is not true. No. Y'all realize that when the game of basketball started, white people could not even play basketball with black people. I mean,
preach. Go ahead, preach.
I'm like. Anyway, that's a whole other topic.
Right.
But in order to make progress, we gotta break down those barriers.
For sure.
And truly, I think your high school experience was a lot of that, being able to play across different races and just win, right?
Exactly.
Because that's what matters.
Exactly.
Is winning.
I mean, and even with just women basketball now, like I feel like there's still steps, pillars, barriers that we're breaking down constantly every year. And I mean, we're making great strides, but there's still progress and there's still work to be done. And I'm just excited where women's basketball is headed. I mean, I'm keep saying women's because like men's basketball, you know, they have their own thing. But like women's basketball really came from down here to up here, and we can still go up here. So it's like, it's just amazing just to be a woman in this sport, because it's just like very popular now.
Yeah, women's basketball, it's up and it's stuck.
Right.
I mean, you all have already proven that the product is stellar, been stellar, and now the brands, the fans are really catching on. It has been so cool to watch just the growth of the entire game. I remember last season when the Sun played the Fever. I mean, every single night the Fever seems like it's sold out, but some special energy in the building, right? Especially a lot of your friends and fans and family, probably former coaches, always pulling up to support.
I mean, playing Indiana is always the best, honestly, because it's like, and stressful. I'm gonna put that out there, because it's like, I got to get 50 tickets And mind you, you're only allotted 2 tickets
right.
per person
it's
on
like,
away trips.
Can I have another 48,
Exactly.
please?
So, like, I'm asking everybody, asking all my teammates, can I borrow your tickets? Can I borrow? Luckily, there's not a lot of people in the Midwest and from there, so I get most of their tickets, and then whatever the extra comes. So I'm like, all right, Mom, give me a list. I'd be telling her a month out, give me a list. If they're not on this list, when the time comes, y'all just going to have to get your own tickets. And
right.
with it being sold out, you might not get a ticket, so you better come with it. So, like, she gave me my list. I asked for the request. By the time it's like, mind you, they don't even send out the tickets until like the night before.
Right,
so like, everybody's texting me like, you got my ticket, you got my ticket. I'm like, yes. They'll send it out. Like, I got my own routine. Like, I'm still I got to play a game. Like, I got to win. I got to produce. I got to show out for y'all. But y'all all hitting my phone like, where's my ticket? I'm like, so I give that to Autumn. So Autumn, she takes care of that. She sends it out to my mom, dad, and then they take care of that. And it's just fun, though, because, like, I have an AU team who comes. So my girls, the boys come. Like you said, old coaches, my parents get to come, family, grandma in South Bend, all of them come down, so it's real fun.
I love that. I can also tell that that's real because, like, the way you sat forward, you're like, everybody texting me and calling me.
Right, come on. Like, y'all know I got a game. Like, I still got my own routine I got to worry about.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, that whole, like, wellness, pregame stuff, and they just worried about getting a ticket.
They just worried about coming to support.
Yeah, you're getting a ticket, but also knowing that they not just want to see you play, they want to see you dominate. Right. And so it's like, yo, I got to stay locked in. I got to stay focused. I got to stay focused. It's so interesting. So I actually have a mindset coach, and my mindset coach always says, you don't need more time, you need more focus. Mm-hmm. And I find myself doing that a lot. It's like, yo, I don't need more time. I just need more focus. Olivia, for the next hour and a half, what are you going to do to prime yourself to perform?
And maximize.
And maximize. Totally maximize, which I think is something that you've done really well, especially as you've continued to mature in your professional game, right? I mean, being super successful in high school led you to none other than being a South Carolina Gamecock.
Yeah.
That experience, how awesome to not just be recruited to a great team, but to also contribute really meaningfully, which actually culminated in you being named a 2020 Dawn Staley Award recipient. Talk to us just about how important and impactful it was for you to play at South Carolina in a time that Dawn clearly has been a GOAT for a long time, but that span you were there from 17 to 2021, you all won a lot of games.
Yeah. I mean, first and foremost, I went to South Carolina because of Dawn Staley. But let me put it out there. I did not watch a lot of basketball until I got to college. So, like, when I committed to South Carolina, I committed to her because of just her personality, like how authentic, real she was. Not because her accolades, because I really didn't know Dawn Staley like that. Like, the crazy part is I did not know her basketball career. I just committed because she was real. They wanted me. They was on the brink of, getting to that point of being a big-time school. So I'm like, oh, yeah, I could be that piece. So once I committed, everybody's like, oh, you playing for Dawn Staley? I'm like, yeah, like, y'all know her too? Like, she's a good person, right? They was like, no, like, she's one of my favorite hoopers. She's the best point guard, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, let me look my coach up. Like, hold on, let me do my research. Let me do my due diligence. So I looked her up. I'm like, she's a highly decorated woman, a black woman, highly decorated point guard when she played, a highly decorated coach. And, I'm just thankful to be in her presence, just to cross paths with her for 4 years. Like I said, she was one of the best point guards, and I'm a point guard, so I learned a lot from her. And even still now, like, I can text her, call her up anytime, and she'll hit me and be like, what's up, Ty? And, like, we just have a long history, and crazy thing is we're both Tauruses. So, like, throughout our career, like, as women, people butt heads, women, especially women. But with us being both Tauruses and personalities and stubbornness, like, when I see her, it's like, it's what's up. But I'm not going to chase her. She's not going to chase me. Like, but we know it's love at the end of the day. So, like, I just love her. Love the other coaching staff, Coach Boyer and Coach Fred, all my coaches. Got to give a shout-out to Coach Nikki McCray. She passed away from breast cancer, but that was one of the coaches that recruited me to come to South Carolina in the first place. So, love all my coaches. I mean, it was just 4 years was one of my best 4 years ever, and so happy to be a part of South Carolina and the Gamecocks and the family. And I mean, sisterhood. Really,
absolutely, sisterhood. That is so funny to me that you didn't even know Dawn was Dawn.
No,
but I think that makes it that much more genuine and authentic. You wanted to go there for the commitment. Yeah. And her kindness and her character. I think oftentimes, like, you weren't ring chasing, you weren't clout chasing. Nope. You did it for the right reasons. Yeah. And a lot of times when you do things for the right reasons, you're going to get the right outcome.
Right.
Right? Put good in, get good out. Yeah. If you're going for the money, you might get it, but it might be really tough. If you're going for impact, ooh, that is such a more righteous pursuit of going there. Hey, I want to build. I want to grow. Yeah. Oh, you just happen to be like this Hall of Famer. Oh, you just happen to be amazing. Right. But how awesome. And I actually kind of agree. Listen, like back when we were hooping, college hoops was not on the main channels.
You don't have no NIL though, and you don't have no NIL, all that money in there, like.
No, but even on Instagram, it wasn't even popping like that. Especially with women's basketball, absolutely no way.
And at the time, Dawn had us. We couldn't be on social media during the season, so like the only time we could post was Christmas break, and like you'll know when it was Christmas break. Like all of us, as soon as we go on break, like. Posting our 10 pictures and then be like, all right, gotta go. Like once we gotta go back, so like.
So y'all were locked in.
Yeah, locked in.
Locked in, like focused. Do you see that same level of locked in and focused now in college hoops?
Actually, no. Actually, by my junior or senior year, I actually joke with her all the time. I'm like, oh, you eased up a whole bunch. Like, we got our social medias. We could have kept our phones. Because, like, even on away games and home games, the night before, they take our phones. So, like, the captains collect all the girls' phones. We give it to the coaches, and we won't see it until after the game. So, like, they get to keep their phones now. They on social media. But the crazy thing is, they're still locked in. Yeah. It's just different. Like, everything you got to go with the flow of just the kids coming up. They're still locked in. They know how to do that. I feel like kids nowadays, COVID babies, let's just say that, like, they can procrastinate. They can juggle 2-3 things at once. And it's just a different era. I mean, I love it both.
Yes. I mean, definitely different. But I think I can appreciate the structure of that and saying, hey, let's keep the main thing the main thing. We're here to hoop. We're here to play basketball. We're here to win games. And not only that, have winning characteristics and, character traits and such, which I think that's I mean, I've never heard of that before. Like, hey, no phones, no this, no that. But I think people who live within boundaries and regulations live very successful lives. Right. I mean, structure. I mean, talk about that. Like you throughout your career. I mean, we're filming this right after she just practiced. Like actually the first time she came in here, she was kind of sweaty. I was like, you want to change that? She's like, I just got off the court.
Hey, it's real life right here.
Real life. There you go. Real life Ty locked in. And I was like, yeah, just change that because you a little sweaty. And actually, hey, shout out Wild Nueva. This is Indianapolis brand.
That's hard.
Yeah, isn't that hard?
I was thinking of when I first came in and I sat down. I'm like, that's why I was going to ask you where you got it from.
Yeah. Wild Nueva, a local Indianapolis designer. I was in between this or like this vintage Pacer shirt, and I'm like, I don't like his. What? A home team?
I'm not. Even though I got it tatted on me, We Dallas Wings over here. Dallas Wings, Dallas Mavs.
That's okay. Whatever. I mean, that is where you get your coins from. So I'm not gonna say nothing.
Exactly.
But at the same time, a hometown team. I knew you grew up watching the Pacers.
Yeah. And Fever. I mean, Tamika, I remember with them boomer sticks up in the stands. Yeah. Like, Brianne, January,
all that.
Katie, all of them. I'm just like, it's crazy just a full circle of everything. Because it's like, I was that little kid literally in the stands, screaming with my ice cream cone, with the snow cones and stuff, like, watching it. And now I'm in this position. It's like my lifelong dream. That's why I try to tell people all the time, like, y'all can have the politics, y'all can have the glitz and glam. I'm just happy to be part of the 144 girls to make it into the league. And I've been playing since 4, so it really paid off.
It absolutely, hard work pays off. Hard work pays off. And seriously, to be one of 144, it's the toughest league in the world. Yep. Not just to get in, but to stay in. Yep. Entering year 6, you have done something to just have stayed in and obviously spinning the block, right? When you left last time, they said, okay, we're going to let her go. But you didn't come back the same. You're not coming back the same. So let's talk about your W career. Okay. Got to the Wings. Yep. Talk to us about that first season with the Wings.
Well, the first season was unique, first off, only because it was the wobble. So it was COVID. So let's just back up from my senior year in college. So going great. Number 1 team in the nation. Thinking I'm about to run it back. I came in with a national championship. I'm going to leave with a national championship. Number 1 team. We just won the SEC championship. Like, we playing our best basketball. World shut down COVID. So then we had to stop abruptly, and I tell this all the time. Like, I only had maybe a week's worth of clothes because after SEC tournament, we had spring break, and Dawn gave us 4 days off. So, like, just packed a little light bag. We're going to go back, to South Carolina when we get back. And within 4 days, the world shut down and they canceled the tournament. So, like, then our school canceled. So I couldn't go back. So I was at home with, like, four clothes just rotating, trying to figure out, like, what's happening. So all that happened. Then we decided the draft had to come up. So now I had to switch gears because it's like I'm out of college. Mm-hmm. I can't go back. It is what it is. I got to get on to the next thing. And that was the draft. And with the draft, that came with, they sent us, like, podcast stuff and had us set up ESPN Live. They did really well, actually, in the short time they had. Yeah. And so we had to do ESPN Live. I had to hurry up and find an outfit. Like, I had to go to Target that morning of the draft to get an outfit because I ordered stuff on Amazon, but everything was shut down. So didn't know if things was going to come. Went to Target. Found a little blazer, found a little shorts, pants. My friend, I think in Indy in Castleton, she has them all. She gave me some Louis Vuitton heels. Like, it worked out perfectly for me. There you go. Like, thank God.
Wait, bust down still? Or no?
Did I have a bust down? I think it was flat iron.
Y'all, because when Ty has a bust down, I say, who is that?
Moving.
Look, inches and everything. I said, is that?
So then my friend came down casually. She did my makeup. Like, she came over. And I'm just, like, thankful for all the people that came and, like, helped me in that time. And then I had my draft in my living room, literally with my family, just sitting on the table, just waiting to hear my name called. And they called me and went to Dallas. And that was interesting. So then now it's like 2 weeks later. I don't think people realize the timeline of coming out of college to going to the WNBA.
Immediate.
Literally. And if you play till the end of the national championship, it's literally 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
I cannot imagine.
2 weeks. And you got to pack up your stuff from college. You got to do, So got there, the wubble, everything's new. We got to stay in IMG. Could not leave it. But for me, it was good because I don't know the life of the WNBA, Mm-hmm. So, like, I had nothing to compare it to.
Yeah, business as usual, right?
Exactly. Like,
you came to hoop. That's your plan
literally,
to do.
I was like, everybody's like, oh, how was the web? I'm like, I felt like I was in college.
Right.
You go here, and you come back. Yeah. And for them, it was a little different because they obviously are used to traveling and getting out and doing all this stuff. But, like, I'm like, hey, we here. I made it. I made my goal. I'm happy just to be here. I was like that eager rookie just to be there. Yeah. So it was really fun. It was really different. I mean, we played every other day. So it was hard. It was rough. It was a rough process, but I had fun. And, yeah, it was history, honestly.
Coming out of college, though, you were used to running the show, right? Very much being the floor general. And so that first rookie season with the Wings, obviously with the complexity of being in the wubble, you didn't start as much as you probably would have thought, right? Mm-hmm. But again, it's a WNBA. I mean, this is the biggest, most competitive women's basketball league in the world. And so obviously there was a big learning curve. Nevertheless, I guess just kind of talk about how you felt exiting that rookie season with really nothing being normal. Yeah. How are you feeling? Were you hopeful? Like, was there any type of, like, I wish that would have gone different?
Honestly, for me, I'm a type of person, like, I'm a realist. Like, I'm a realistic person. I feel like I'm a humble person. Like I said, I'm a shy. Like, I'm not too boastful or whatever. So even coming in college, I didn't think I was going to start it right away. Like, I mean, these are great girls. Like, the team was moving and grooving. I'm like, these are some good girls. Like, I'm going to come in, play my role, and whenever it's my time, it's my time. Mm-hmm. So, fun fact, I'm actually the first freshman that Dawn started in her whole coaching career. She's never started a freshman, not even Asia Wilson when she was a freshman, nobody. So,
wow.
I was the first one.
That's so dope.
Yeah,
that's so cool.
Like, it happened after Christmas break, actually. So, I didn't start, and then Christmas break came. She was like, we're going to change the lineup. I'm not even thinking she's going to say me. Mm-hmm. Like, she was like, we're going to change the lineup a little bit, blah, blah, blah. She was like, yeah, Ty's going to be the starting point guard. So I'm like, did she say me?
That's the best Christmas gift ever.
Right? I said, did she say me? So, like, all that happened. So, like, coming into the league, I didn't think, like, I'm going to start. Like I said, like, these are girls who are All-Americans coming out of college. I mean, like, there's only 144 girls. These are amazing. So I'm like, I'm going to play my role. So it wasn't anything ill will about my first rookie year. I was trying to learn stuff. My first game, I think I did pretty good. And I was just hopeful, like you said. I was hopeful and excited to get to the next year.
Let's go. So another year in Dallas, and then they traded you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of trades going on right now, and it's shocking the internet for sure, especially in the WNBA, with this new collective bargaining agreement. So a lot of these players are going somewhere to hoop for 1 year.
1 year.
And then seeing what's going to happen.
Yep.
You spinning the block back to the Wings. I want you to talk briefly about your time in Connecticut. That first year, again, just getting warmed up. But that second year, this past year, you really delivered.
Yeah.
And I think that people walked out of watching you play saying, that Ty Harris, she's something, and she's a threat.
Yeah, so like you said, the first year in Connecticut, starting all over again, new, fresh. I come in that thing the same way, like just kind of learning the ropes, play behind the scenes, and make my mark. And I think my mark at the time was, and my role was to come off the bench and have like something, bring something to the team. And I think me and Dejanay did that really well. Like we was that 1-2 punch off the bench. Playing our role and just helping the team. And we got, I forget where we got. We got to the playoffs, though. Like, we got pretty far. So then the following year, the second year in Connecticut, it was like I finally had the opportunity to be what I know I am. Mm-hmm. And that's a starting point guard on a WNBA team. And I'm just thankful that Connecticut gave me that opportunity. And we had a great season. We tried to make it. We had a great season.
Yeah, y'all had a great season. Right. Ended ours, please.
Had to sweep that there real quick, but
hey, watch out now. Watch
out.
They
coming. They on people's necks this year. But yeah, so I had a great career. Not career, but great season, and I think I honestly have way more to show. I think I'm happy that people are finally seeing me for who I am, but it's like, I'm only scratching the surface. Like, y'all only seeing the surface right now.
Truly. Last night, I saw you drop double digits, and it was kind of funny because people were like, oh, Ty. And I was like, the crazy thing is, that was easy to her.
Been that.
You opened up with the first points of the game, which is a three-pointer. Yep. well behind the line. And I just see a type of confidence and just knowingness with you. I think definitely I can echo the same sentiments of you being, humble, wanting to be helpful, play your role. But it's no longer a role player. No. It's time. It's time.
Yeah.
It's time for Ty Harris, y'all. Let's go. All right. So back in Dallas, excited about that. What is probably the one thing that you're most excited about? And did you text your new teammates like saying anything?
Yeah. So I'm most excited about like you said, just being back to where my dream came true at. Like Dallas was home. Technically, because they drafted me at 7. That's where I started my career. So it's good to be back there and with Arike, who I was started with my rookie year, and that's my dog, my sis. That's who I ended up texting literally when I heard about the trade. I'm like, what we doing, gang? What we doing? And got traded, and I'm just happy to be back because, like, even the people in the front offices, the people who do the bag equipment, people who do uniforms, like, I had friendships with all of them. Social media people, like, I'm saying what's up to all of them, and for them to still be there and I'm coming back, it's like a welcome home party, honestly.
All right. Well, we will see how hard y'all party this season. I mean, seriously. The WNBA is truly going to be something to watch. Like, people are not going to want to miss a game, especially this season. A lot of these hoopers are there for 1 year. And so not only do you have a lot to prove, but you got a lot to lose, too.
Yeah.
So really, really excited. Ty, the whole theme of this podcast, well, it's also my namesake, right? Living in victory. And there's a lot of wins that you've racked up and accumulated, and we know you're not done yet. Mm-hmm. So what would be your 1 or 2 pieces of advice or sentiments to share with folks as they look to live in victory, whether that's in sport, in business, in entrepreneurship, in faith, relationship? How does Ty Harris live in victory?
Honestly, it's just being present, staying in that moment. The future can cause anxiety, stress. The past is in the past. You can't fix that. So just being present, shifting your perspective on things. Like you said, living in victory, figuring out what is your victory. Even with losses, there's a lesson, and that could be a victory. So being present and figuring out your victory.
Boom. There you have it. Living in Victory podcast listeners. Thanks for joining us today with Ty Harris. Remember, go out and live in victory because you're already a winner. See ya. Live West out.
Already won.
Stop you, no one. Let's rock. Live.